Coach, last week you were swept by Pepperdine. You
Yeah.
sweep Stanford all on the road. What were the differences in your mind between those two matches?
Serving and passing for sure. Pepperdine, we had 4 pin attackers hit. With two and Josh at 333. Arenik was hitting 500 when we had to take him out, and Alex was hitting in the 640s or a little bit higher. So we were doing some great stuff attacking on the pins. I don't think we've ever had a match where all of our pin attackers were effective. Unfortunately, the reason that was Pepperdine was just serving great, and we were out of system the whole night. So those hitting numbers were pretty phenomenal, seeing as they were hitting against 2 and 3 man blocks the whole night. And so our guys understood that we were, other than the serving and passing game, we were pretty good. Now, obviously, the blocking numbers weren't there because we, conversely, couldn't serve Pep out of system too much, and they were just running their deal. And that was the difference is Pepperdine forced us out of system. We could not force them out of system. So we understood that was the issue. And going into the Stanford match, Stanford passes really well, and they serve really well. And so we knew that was going to be a big deal. We knew that we were doing everything else well, that we were just going to have to up our game, and we did. I think you saw Tui break out and have a good service run. Feathers got back to being able to create some aces. He got an ace for the end of the match. He got one earlier, too. But by and large, we went into that Stanford match. We continued our positive hitting, and we asserted ourselves from the service line, and we limited their runs. They're better guys, or I shouldn't say they're better guys, but they're guys that create scoring opportunities from the service line for Stanford. We're able to get them off the line a lot quicker, and so for us as a team going into the final stretch of the season, that was huge. Because we just understood the tempo and the style of play that we were in, and we changed it and we got better in 24 hours and went out and took care of business. So I was really proud of the way we did that.
Only 2 more MPSF matches yet left. Do you like where you guys are at?
We control our own. Yes, we control our own destiny. We win both. We clinch a home playoff match, and that's basically what you want. When you start the beginning of the MPSF season, there's gonna be 6 great teams every year in our league at least. So if you can finish in the top 4 and clinch a home court quarterfinal match, great. Anything above that's gravy. And so for us to clinch a home court playoff match would be huge, and we're able to do that if we, that's up to us 100%. We can win 2 matches and assure ourselves of doing that. Now there's obviously a couple scenarios where we can get help, but we're not going to think like that. For us, it's just we're thinking about our side of the net, our high quality of volleyball, and that's the focus right now. Is everything we do has got to be high quality, and it's on our side of the net.
Alumni match this week. What's that all about for people that aren't familiar?
Just that. It's about the alumni. And, in a place like USC, we have some of the greatest volleyball players in the history of our game. And when I say that, I mean worldwide. If you look at, you start in '77 with Celso Colaci. Celso Colaci is arguably the best player to have ever played at USC. Now, the public doesn't know as much of him. Celso's Brazilian, and he played in 2 Olympic Games for Brazil. But he was the go-to guy in '77 on that national championship team, and by and large the best player in college volleyball back then. And so when you talk to the Tim Hovlands and the Dvoraks and the Yoders and the greats of the great that were here, when they talk about Celso, they shift into a different gear. Like there's a reverence there for him. So and it's been cool. Celso's been in our last few matches, and he actually talked to the team last week, and we're real fortunate to have his connection with the program. So it's continuing the relationship between the alumni and the current team, and always making sure the Trojan family is together and connected, and we're all pulling in the same direction. And in talking about Celso, I mean, if you just take the 1980 national championship team, which was arguably the best college volleyball team ever. I mean, you had 3 starters in Dusty Dvorak, Steve Timmons, and Pat Powers were starters in the 1984 gold medal match. And Powers was the outstanding player of the Olympic Games, and Dusty is arguably the best setter to have walked the planet, and Steve Timmons is the only American male with 3 Olympic medals, and those are just 3 guys off of one team. And then you think about all the guys like Bob Yoder, who won a national championship as a player, won it as a coach, and what he means to the program, and his example of how we need to go about things on a day-to-day basis. And you've got, in Hovland, you've got one of the greatest beach players and probably the fiercest volleyball competitor of all time. And there's just so many people, and you got the early 90s guys that were in multiple championship games. You have Brian Ivey, who's one of the best players who ever played here. We retired his number. Nick Becker won Olympic bronze medal, one of the best guys ever passed the volleyball that came through here. Tom Duke. So many, that's 2 players of the year right there in Ivey and Duke. So those guys bring it. You got the Bill Stetsons, who were all American volleyball players, who's now just a top flight orthopedic surgeon, and all of these guys that over the years have come through the program. And then you got the recent guys, you got Tony, you got Murphy. Those guys were players of the year and played internationally. We've got Try is one of the best guys on the beach right now. You got, in between that, you got the Brooke Billings group where, Brooke's still playing professionally now. And there's so many guys that have done so many great things, and for us and our team to be able to connect with those guys, whether it's a guy like Timmons who won a bunch of medals, or a guy like Kevin Ash who's running the Rose Bowl game, there are so many great people doing great things out in the world that have played volleyball here and done well, that it's a really important day for our guys to connect with them, for them to connect with us, and then more importantly, to let those guys get out and bang the ball around. We usually, on alumni day, we usually have a game where we split our team into halves, and they draft an alumni team, and the alumni play against the alumni. And then after that, usually whoever's can go will have the alumni play against our team. And I think that's kind of unique. I think most times a lot of schools just get the alumni to play against the varsity team, and that's it. We want our alumni guys to be able to play against each other, and by having our guys draft the teams, I think it's real fun, and it brings a connection that's a little bit tighter. So it's a very important day for us every year, and we're glad it happens at the end of the year because it kind of reinvigorates the alumni, get some face-to-face contact with our guys, and maybe it'll spur a few of them on to come to a match or 2 or a playoff game or whatever. So anytime those guys are around and anytime they can impart their wisdom on our guys, all for it, because that's what SC is all about. It's a Trojan family, and that's our way to solidify that.